Bonet and Jason Momoa's love story had Hollywood in a chokehold for years. He was the fine, rugged action star who had been manifesting her since childhood, and she was the effortlessly cool icon from The Cosby Show. Together, they built a beautiful, blended family with their kids, Lola, Nicole Wolf, and Zoe Kravitz, Bonet's daughter with rock legend Lenny Kravitz. But behind all that charm, behind the big laughs and the wild, thrill-seeking energy of the Aquaman star, there were layers folks never got to see. So when they announced their split in 2022, the world was shook. That's when the real questions started rolling in. Who was Jason Momoa behind closed doors? Now, in a move no one saw coming, Lisa Bonet's children are spilling some tea, pulling back the curtain on a side of Momoa that was kept under wraps. What truths were hiding beneath that larger-than-life persona? Their raw confessions and jaw-dropping revelations will have you looking at him in a whole new light. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's journey started way before they ever crossed paths. He's been loud and proud about it in interviews, grinning like a kid in a candy store as he told the world that he was just 8 years old when he first saw Bonet on TV and decided that's the woman he was gonna make his wife. And in his own words, he was ready to stalk her until it happened. He's always joked about his stalker-turned-husband story, grinning as he talked about how little Jason was mesmerized by Lisa Bonet as Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show. But this wasn't just some childhood crush. This man had a plan. And in 2004, fate finally stepped in. It all went down at a jazz club in LA. Mutual friends made the introduction. And from the moment their eyes locked, it was on. Over a pint of Guinness, Bonet's drink of choice, and a meal of good old grits, the two vibed instantly. Momoa would later say it felt like fireworks were going off in his head, while Bonet playfully admitted that he practically snatched her up like a caveman. That 12-year age gap, it didn't matter one bit. Their connection was on another level. None of that fast Hollywood romance, just something real. Unlike so many celebrity couples who sprint down the aisle, Lisa and Jason took their time, letting love do what it does. By 2007, they welcomed their first baby girl, Lola Iolani. Her name was deeply personal. Iolani means royal hawk in Hawaiian, a tribute to Momoa's roots. Then in December 2008, they had their son, Nakoa Wolf Manakawapo Namakaiha. And baby, that name is loaded with meaning. Nakoa means warrior, Mana is all about spirit, and Kawa represents rain, a nod to the wild, stormy night he was born into. If their love story was written in the stars, their kids' names were etched in the waves. For a whole decade, Lisa and Jason lived life on their own terms, building a reputation for being free-spirited, rocking that boho style, and loving their kids with everything they had. Fans and friends were so convinced they'd tied the knot already, especially after rumors swirled that they had secretly wed in 2007. But it wasn't until October 2017 that they finally made it official in what seemed like a hush-hush ceremony at their home in Topanga Canyon. In those early years, they looked unstoppable. On red carpets, they were the picture of unity, walking hand in hand, shining together in interviews. Momoa always spoke of how Bonet's calm, introspective energy kept him grounded in an industry full of fame-hungry folks. And Bonet? She had mad love for Momoa's brand of masculinity, one that was all about family, love, and loyalty. Their chemistry was undeniable, and it didn't take long before they were seen as one of Hollywood's power couples, the epitome of relationship goals. But when the news hit in January 2022 that their marriage was ending, it rocked the entertainment world. The joint statement they released was nothing short of poetic, referencing times of change and acknowledging that just like the world, they too had felt the shift. They made it clear that the love between them was still very much alive, emphasizing how they were giving each other the space to keep growing as individuals. Court documents later revealed that their official separation date was back in October 2020, though the divorce wasn't finalized until January 2024. Fans and the media couldn't believe it. If a couple like Bonet and Momoa, who seemed so grounded, couldn't survive the pressures of fame, who could? But as more came to light, it became obvious that their split wasn't driven by hate or drama. They'd just outgrown each other. Lisa was content in LA, embracing a more chill lifestyle, while Jason thrived on location shoots and big-budget action movies that had him traveling all over. One insider summed it up. For some, distance makes the heart grow fonder. For Lisa and Jason, it was a recipe for disaster. From day one, they made it a priority to keep things cordial, especially for their kids. Neither of them took the low road. There was no mudslinging or public drama. Lisa's social media presence was next to none, and Jason used his platform to shout out his children or raise awareness for environmental causes. Their separation was handled with as much grace as a breakup can have. No drama, just heartbreak. But for the kids, especially Lola and Nakoa Wolf, the shift in the family dynamic was impossible to ignore. The once flawless balance they had as a family was now disrupted, and for the first time, the couple known for their seamless connection had to figure out how to walk different paths. But just when it seemed like everything was unraveling, Lisa Bonet's children stepped up, sharing their perspectives on the situation. And in doing so, they spilled a few shocking truths that gave fans a deeper look into Jason Momoa's vulnerabilities, his moments of joy, and the small changes that ultimately shifted the family's entire course. Jason's bond with his kids in particular has always been a big deal for him. For Jason Momoa, being a father was more than just a title. It was a journey of learning who he was. Growing up without a solid father figure made him yearn for a deep, meaningful connection with his own children. He's been open about it in interviews, always stressing that he didn't want to be that because I said so kind of dad. Instead, he aimed to create an environment where his kids, Lola and Nakoa Wolf, could be open and vulnerable just like him. He told Men's Health that he regularly reminds his kids there's nothing worth doing if it's not going to be hard and it's not going to be a struggle. In Jason's world, success isn't just about hitting it big, it's about resilience, and he wanted Lola and Nakoa Wolf to feel that truth firsthand. He shared more than once with a bit of awe in his voice that he never truly understood what it meant to be a dad until he actually became one. And through all the highs of his career, he never pulled back from the challenges and the joys of parenthood. For Jason, family always took the top spot. Whether he was behind the scenes on an Aquaman shoot or walking a red carpet for The Batman, starring his stepdaughter Zoe Kravitz, he made sure his kids saw what real, unconditional love looked like, no matter if the cameras were rolling or not. That big, bold, larger-than-life energy he's known for, it spills over into his parenting. Jason's all about extreme outdoor hobbies, rock climbing, surfing, and even knife making, a passion he's been eager to share with his children. In an interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live, he proudly talked about building a family knife with his kids, calling it an heirloom in the making. But the adventure doesn't stop there. Lola and Nakoa Wolf have hit the road with him on motorcycle trips for his docu-series On the Roam, where Jason shines a light on craftsmen, athletes, and artisans around the country. Lola's got her dad's creative spark, too. Her choreography skills have caught the eye of some of Jason's colleagues in the film industry. In the Netflix movie Slumberland, a clip of her dance routine made it into the final cut, showing how Jason loves to mix his family's talents with his big screen work. Meanwhile, Nakoa Wolf forged his own special connection with Jason through martial arts, specifically Kali, a Filipino style. And in Dune, Jason made sure to sneak in some little nods to his son, tapping his heart and forehead in tribute to Nakoa Wolf. He's called those small gestures his way of sharing intimate moments with his son, even in the middle of grand, action-packed scenes. The family knife story really illustrates just how meaningful these symbolic gestures are to Jason. To him, these aren't just props, they're legacies in the making, teaching his kids how to craft knives, how to handle them with care, and how to appreciate the artistry behind them connects deeply with his Hawaiian roots and his sense of responsibility to nature. Jason wants Lola and Nakoa Wolf to learn life skills that you don't find in the classroom or the typical school curriculum. Things that go beyond just book knowledge and into real-world hands-on wisdom. Sometimes this hands-on approach might leave talk show hosts or fans scratching their heads. You built what with your kids, they might ask. But for Jason, it's all part of teaching them how to stay grounded. At the heart of all this is a simple truth. Jason Momoa's kids are everything. He's never been shy about lifting them up and praising their talents. Whether they're on the road with him or popping up in dance cameos in his movies, Lola and Nakoa Wolf are right there with him, sharing in the adventures. And as we'll see, their voices, shaped by Lisa's calm, grounding energy and Jason's fiery spirit, are starting to reshape the Momoa Bonet narrative in ways people didn't expect. While Jason's high-voltage energy is what the world knows, those who are close to the family understand just how vital Lisa Bonet's serene presence is. She's been called the glue that holds everything together. With her introspective, spiritual nature, she's always spoken about learning how to be authentically herself and evolving into the new version of who she was meant to be. Lisa brought a reflective, inward focus to the household, balancing out Jason's wild energy and providing a calm foundation for their family. For years, fans got glimpses of Lisa's influence, mostly through Jason's social media, since Lisa rarely posted herself. But even from the sidelines, it was clear that she was the calming force in the family, creating an environment where their kids were encouraged to embrace their roots, whether Hawaiian or African American, and explore their creative sides without any limits. In their broader, blended family circle, which included Zoe Kravitz and Lenny Kravitz, Lisa's thoughtful, mindful approach was a steady glue, pulling everyone together. She promoted a grounded, peaceful lifestyle that balanced out Jason's larger-than-life energy and wild leaps into the unknown. When the news broke about their separation in 2022, both Lisa and Jason made it clear that co-parenting would always be their top priority. Their divorce settlement, finalized in early 2024, was a bit different from what we usually see in Hollywood. It was agreed that neither would pay child support. Instead, they'd share the costs for raising Lola and Nakoa Wolf. It might be unconventional, but it spoke volumes about the mutual respect they maintained through it all. Their joint statements highlighted their desire to let each other grow, while keeping their devotion to their kids unshaken. Since the split, both have found their own flow. Jason's joked about being houseless, not homeless, moving from set to set in a trailer, fully embracing the nomadic lifestyle. Meanwhile, Lisa has stayed in their former family home in LA. Despite the physical distance, they've managed to keep things united when it comes to making decisions for their children. Lisa's perspective continues to serve as the foundation of the family. She's reportedly not interested in throwing shade at Jason, instead focusing on teaching their kids what's possible, based on what they both agreed upon in their joint statement. A clear reflection of Lisa Bonet's influence is the way Lola and Nakoa Wolf have spoken out about their experiences. Both of them carry a calm, confident energy that's unmistakably like their mother's. While they may not be as loud or as outgoing as their dad, they've definitely inherited Lisa's grounded, serene vibe. Recently, fans caught a glimpse of this quiet strength during red carpet moments, like at the Batman premiere to support Zoe Kravitz, or at the screening of Common Ground in Beverly Hills. Observers couldn't help but notice how much Lola, at 16, looks just like her mom, while Nakoa Wolf's resemblance to Jason is uncanny. But in interviews, their soft-spoken, measured way of expressing themselves seems much more in line with Lisa's calm, introspective nature. Lola and Nakoa Wolf are careful with their words, acknowledging their father's adventurous spirit while also recognizing the truth about the challenges of fame. Lola, in particular, has started to echo Lisa's philosophical approach to life, often speaking on the importance of self-awareness and creativity. On the other hand, Nakoa Wolf, still figuring out his teenage identity, has let slip small hints about his father's hidden anxieties and vulnerabilities. It's in these unguarded moments that you really see Lisa Bonet's influence, shaping children who can both admire and critically examine their father's choices. This shift, where the kids step into the spotlight and share personal insights about their family, marks a whole new chapter for the Momoa Bonet clan. Lola and Nakoa Wolf have found their voices, and now they're ready to reveal some shocking secrets that only they, as the ones closest to Jason and Lisa, truly know. These revelations, which are more layered than the public initially realized, slowly came to light through interviews on the red carpet and a few key public appearances. After the divorce was finalized, Lola and Nakoa Wolf made appearances with Jason at events like the Common Ground documentary screening in Beverly Hills and the Batman premiere in New York City, observers noticed. At these events, fans saw Jason, proud and smiling, with his arms around his teenagers, posing for photos while also taking in their honest, sometimes surprising remarks. It was during these moments that Lisa Bonet's kids, especially 15-year-old Nakoa Wolf, began casually revealing more about their father's day-to-day struggles and vulnerabilities. This is when fans learned that Jason had embraced a semi-nomadic lifestyle, moving from project to project in a trailer instead of settling into a permanent family home. While some saw this as romantic, or just another aspect of Jason's adventurous spirit, others noticed the toll it took on the kids, who spent long stretches of time physically separated from their dad. Nakoa Wolf has a knack for dropping big truths without even realizing it. In one interview, he casually mentioned how their dad feels like a nomad, constantly on the move. For fans, the idea of the larger-than-life Aquaman actor not having a stable home base was a real eye-opener. "He's literally traveling all the time, and we don't see him as much," Nakoa Wolf said, adding, "But he's happy, and we're happy for him." Lola also shared her thoughts on the matter, touching on the intense pressure Jason faces under the constant scrutiny of Hollywood. Lola chimed in, admitting that while they admire how their dad balances fame with real fatherhood, their primary concern is his safety and health. "We just want him to be safe and healthy," she said, a sentiment that reflects their deep care and understanding. These comments caught the attention of many, as fans were surprised to hear Lisa Bonet's children voicing the complex layers behind Jason Momoa's unbreakable bravado. Perhaps the most poignant revelation was that even someone known for his powerful roles and boundless energy can feel the weight of stardom. Nakoa Wolf and Lola shared that, at times, their dad struggles with the constant media attention and the physically demanding schedules of his film projects. This insight into Jason Momoa's vulnerability was a reminder to fans that behind the superhero persona is a man who, just like everyone else, has his own battles to fight. However, despite the weight of these struggles, neither Lola nor Nakoa Wolf ever condemns their father. They speak with nothing but affection, highlighting how Jason's challenges have ultimately shaped their own resilience. It's clear that despite the difficulties, The love and admiration they have for their dad remain unwavering. Watching Jason juggle major career opportunities and his changing personal life has taught Lola and Nakoa Wolf an important lesson. It's okay to stumble, as long as you get back up. As Jason often says, falling is just part of the process. One observer noted the rare maturity of children who can see their father as both a hero and a man with real-world anxieties. They love how he invests time in teaching them practical survival skills, like knife crafting, rock climbing, and developing a deep appreciation for nature. He never wants us to depend on anyone else, Lola shared. He wants us to learn how to fight through different households and routines. And as Lola puts it, despite the challenges, we're still family, and Jason shows them that family can look different for everyone. At first, it might be unsettling to hear a child describe their dad's lifestyle with such a blunt term. But in a brief, candid moment, Nakoa Wolf once said, "Sometimes I look at Dad working himself to exhaustion, and I think this is terrible." As these unexpected details continued to trickle out, fans found themselves intrigued by the children's openness. Perhaps the most surprising revelation was just how involved Jason is in passing down skills and traditions. Nakoa Wolf mentioned that even though his father is away for weeks or months at a time, Jason always returns with new projects, ensuring that the lessons continue no matter the distance. Like the forging of personalized knives, he teaches me how to craft them and respect them, the teenager explained. I think it's his way of grounding himself and us in something real. Lola, too, unveiled an unexpected side of Jason's humility. She confided that even with all his success, he remains obsessed with learning. Jason may be the towering star of Aquaman or Dune, but at home, he's the dad who's deeply invested in environmental issues, always reading up on them and sketching out new ideas for his next creative projects. He'll keep telling me and my brother that knowledge is never wasted, Lola shared, adding that he encourages them to explore everything they can because that's the best part of being alive. But perhaps the most significant revelation comes from how Jason has worked hard to maintain family unity, even after the divorce. Lola recalled how her dad often emphasizes the importance of their bond. He calls it their sacred legacy, a connection that doesn't disappear just because things change. He reminds us all the time that we're in this together, even if we live in different places or our last names differ. It's clear that despite the separation, Jason remains focused on keeping the family grounded in love and respect. This spirit of inclusivity has kept a sense of continuity in the children's lives. During a 2022 interview, when asked about his stepdaughter Zoe and her starring role in The Batman, Jason Momoa famously said, "We're still family, you know?" This attitude of togetherness, from celebrating each other's milestones to showing up at premieres and events, solidifies the idea that their bond goes beyond legalities. Despite their seemingly bohemian lifestyle, both Lisa and Jason take their roles as parents seriously. The children have expressed their appreciation for how their parents balance their differing approaches. Lisa's meditative, spiritual vibe fosters deep introspection, while Jason's adventurous, free-spirited style encourages risk-taking and creativity. Lola admitted, "They each teach us different ways to live fully." Co-parenting, as they describe it, has its challenges, but is also incredibly rewarding. The kids split their physical time between their mother in Los Angeles and their father, traveling with him whenever possible, especially if it involves exciting adventures or film sets. Though this arrangement isn't always easy, it has broadened their horizons. "We see corners of the country and meet interesting people," they've said, embracing the unique opportunities their lifestyle offers. Nakoa Wolf shared, "We learn that home can be anywhere we feel supported. The shocking secrets revealed through these heartfelt moments aren't about scandal or betrayal. Instead, they shine a light on the thoughtful, intentional way this family is carving out a unique path. In their world, the end of a marriage doesn't mean the end of love and mutual support. By shifting the narrative, the children have shown that these secrets are really reflections of devotion, humility, and a rock-solid family bond." As for Jason Momoa's hidden side, long before Lisa Bonet's children began sharing their perspectives, he had already captured the world's attention with his heartfelt admissions about being infatuated with her from childhood. Although he framed it humorously, this confesses the depth of his admiration. He once joked on The Late Late Show that the moment he saw Lisa on TV, he told his mom, "Mommy, I want that one." Years later, fate made it happen when they met at a jazz club, fulfilling his childhood dream. But behind the tough guy persona lies a man who always admired Lisa for her artistry, independence, and spiritual grace, qualities that continue to influence him today. In interviews, Jason calls Lisa his queen, praising her for opening his eyes to new ways of thinking and creating. This side of him completely flips the script on the typical alpha male. He's more like a big teddy bear, as Lola once humorously put it. "He just looks like he could top of a building," she added, playfully highlighting the contrast between his tough exterior and his gentle nature. One of the more intriguing secrets that the children shared is how Momoa doesn't view acting as the peak of his journey. He's often spoken about wanting to dive into painting, writing, and activism, especially when it comes to environmental issues. From his involvement in the Rock the Vote campaign to advocating against single-use plastics, he's been vocal about his commitment to protecting the planet for future generations. His kids have joined him at environmental rallies and traveled with him to visit local artisans for his docuseries, On the Roam. In several interviews, Momoa has mentioned the possibility of stepping away from Hollywood one day to focus on the creative arts and a quieter life with his family. One reason for this shift might be how physically demanding his action roles are. He's shared that it's tough to wind down from the high-intensity energy required for roles like Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones or Arthur Curry in Aquaman. Jason's post-divorce life, while nomadic, seems to be the perfect space for him to explore his passions beyond the glitz and glam of Hollywood. As he returns home amped up from action-packed roles, he's quickly grounded by the humbling routines of homework and bedtime with his kids. Despite his growing star power, these revelations from Lola and Nakoa Wolf show a man with far-reaching dreams. He's not just the larger-than-life Aquaman or action hero, but also a man who forges knives, paints evocative art, writes poetry, and travels the world to meet inspiring individuals. And through it all, he remains committed to returning home to share his newfound experiences with the people he loves. His nomadic post-divorce lifestyle isn't just about roaming. It's a way to connect with his creative soul, evolving from a performer into a caretaker of family traditions, art, and environmental advocacy. The Momoa-Bonet family dynamic, unconventional as it may seem, is rooted in a deep commitment to one another. Despite the separation, the unshakable bond between Jason and his children shines through. Lola and Nakoa Wolf's insights reveal that the shocking secrets are not about scandal or betrayal, but about Jason's humility, wanderlust, and his dedication to keeping the family united. Whether it's crafting knives in a desert workshop or fighting for eco-friendly policies, Jason Momoa continues to navigate multiple worlds, with the unwavering support of his children, who see him not just as a star or a hero, but as dad, ever-evolving and ever-loving in this ever-shifting landscape. In the end, these revelations about Jason's hidden self remind us that the lines between media portrayals and real life can often blur. To Lola and Nakoa Wolf, the father behind the epic roles is someone tender, curious, and always striving to do better, not just for himself, but for his kids, for Lisa, and for the planet he is so passionate about protecting. The story of the Momoa-Bonet family teaches us that love truly knows no boundaries. Through their children's insights, we've glimpsed a different side of Jason Momoa, a devoted father, someone who crafts knives with his kids, and dreams of a life beyond Hollywood's relentless spotlight. His journey, full of evolution and growth, reflects the heart of a man who, at the end of the day, is still learning how to balance his passion for his craft with his role as a father and steward of the earth. What unconventional family traditions keep your loved ones connected? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe for more intimate looks into Hollywood's most intriguing families.